This is the last speaker of the night.
No, he's just waiting too.
I just touched it?
Yes.
I apologize. Question, some serious allegations were just made that have a conspiracy feel to them. That an administrator in this district, with other individuals possibly in the community, conspired to smear a member. That's pretty serious. I'm wondering what the procedures are to open an investigation. I'm wondering if it takes a board vote. I don't know if the superintendent does it. What is the process? Because there are serious allegations that have legal ramifications. And there is proof. So can someone tell me what the process is?
Where's the lawyer?
There's Mr. Garcia right here.
Mr. Garcia can speak.
Mr. Garcia.
Use the microphone.
And I have another question.
Something needs to be submitted to the board for its consideration. Whoever has whatever evidence it is you say, you put it in writing, you make a request, you say this is the material that I have, and then the board will conduct an investigation.
Does the person have the right to speak to the board and let them know?
There's no rights. The board decides what it wants with regard to that.
Excuse me, can I ask a question, Mr. Garcia? Is it a board member that can say you can't come into executive session? Is it the board president have that autonomy?
I had to speak in executive boards. I did not.
Well, I'm asking a question.
I did not want to come here and talk.
Come in, wait, I'm asking a question. Is it?
It's a board decision. It's not an individual decision.
Not a president decision.
Correct. And now that I have the opportunity to have this microphone in my hand, there's something I want to say with regard to this. And I don't think it's been said very clearly tonight by anyone. There is no absolute right to any position in this school district, and that includes coaching positions. There's no absolute right for a current employee to have a position instead of a former employee. There is a preference right, and that preference is qualified. Now you're hearing that from the lawyer. So when an employee makes an application for a job, coaching, co-curricular activity, the board decides by conducting its own due diligence as to whether that preference right should be honored. And then its decision in that regard is subject to an arbitration process. There's no guarantee insofar as this is concerned. And it's decided ultimately by an arbitrator, and the board will make its decision as it addresses. That's really an appropriate matter. It is those kind of remarks are beneath you and beneath everybody. This meeting has not been, this is what I do for a living. Every day I sit in a meeting like this. And none of you should be proud as to the way this meeting got conducted tonight. Nobody. And it's not normal, and it really needs to stop. That's one man's opinion, but someone who's been doing this for 42 years. So getting back to the ultimate issue, when issues are raised as to whether that preference should be honored, the board has an obligation under the law to conduct its due diligence to do it right. Because ultimately, if it makes a decision not to honor that preference, it's going to be subject to the arbitration process. So it does what it's supposed to do. It talks to its lawyer. It makes a decision based upon whether it believes that its decision will be sustained if its decision is not to honor the preference. You don't do that in 5 minutes. And I understand that in Connecticut you have a history of making all of these appointments in July. I can tell you, as someone who represents 55 school districts, that's not normal. What normally happens is the coaching positions get appointed as you get close to that season. So what I can tell you here, from a lawyer's standpoint, is they are doing what they have to do in order to make a decision that will be sustained by an arbitrator if they make a decision not to make that appointment. So that due diligence has to play itself out. And everybody simply has to be patient as that happens. And the more that this gets litigated, quote unquote, in this public forum, the less likely it is that this will turn out right. Thank you.
All right, if we have to submit something in order to start an investigation on this, I'd be interested in what the vote's going to be. If you know, especially if it's validated what this gentleman said. I've approached a number of you discussing this situation. 4 or 5 months ago, the association came to you, and we saw this coming. All right, we saw that there was going to be a battle. We saw what happened 3 years ago. I spoke to many of you, and I said it's coming, and the health of the district is not worth a coaching job. And we actually came up with ideas. Mr. Ferrielli, I was kind of surprised when you said, what deal? All right, we came up with ideas that if we can work them out legally, all right, we were willing to negotiate. So Mr. Ambrosini can stay. He can get his 600 wins. We can all be proud of him, including the association. That's what we offered, because we didn't want this. And you know what we were told? You don't even, obviously, from what you said, I can only say that you didn't know about, that we came to you, and we were told no, that the superintendent said no, right off the bat. And I was told that it was brought to the Board of Education. And if that's not the case, that's wrong. And if you want to wonder why we think a conspiracy is going on, we bring something to negotiate a deal. So everybody's happy, it doesn't rip. I know people like that, I work with some of these people. And now we're not even making eye contact with each other, all over this. All right, this has to be remedied. Mr. Berger, I think, came up with a great idea. It's up to Mr. Berger. I don't think he minds. Like Mr. Berger said, that we sit down and we try to work this out. Because it's going to be a no-win situation if this goes away, keeps going the way it's going. Thank you.